Welcome to the Poynton High School English Department Information Evening for Year 7 English. The purpose of this event is to share with you some useful information about English at Poynton. It is of course a huge subject, one where students spend approximately 700 hours across years 7 to 11, and it's a subject which is foundational for so much else in and outside of school. The presentation is divided up into sections which will hopefully give you a clearer insight into exactly how this time is spent. We're going to begin by looking at the English curriculum, which is to say what we teach, when we teach it, and why we teach it. This is something we've worked on a great deal over the past year and a half, and it's something that we're rightly proud of. Hopefully it will inspire our students to have the same love of English as we have. The starting point for our curriculum is quite distinct to Poynton High School. This statement from our curriculum ambition is more than pleasant words or empty rhetoric. It's something which can be evidenced and something which is tangible when you go into an English classroom. The word bright indicates so much more than academic ability. Our students are intellectually curious, socially adept and full of enthusiasm. The curriculum itself, which is outlined in great detail on the school website, is a hefty document, covering as it does some 700 hours of lessons. It does, however, follow some simple principles. Each unit, often covering a term, is built around a theme and learning questions. We've found that these can help to focus the study of what are broad domains of knowledge. During Term 1, Year 7 have studied a unit which looked at the history of storytelling, from the early days of oral storytelling and mythology, through early literature such as Beowulf, and then towards the modern day. We've tried to make sure that we signpost the key skills learned and how this links to prior and future learning. It's also notable that the texts themselves are often deliberately challenging, something which builds on the excellent work done by primaries. These texts are assembled into a printed anthology for each term, which every student has their own copy. During this term, Year 7 are studying a unit based on the very broad topic of people. As you can see though, this has been lent focus through the learning question. This question asks, how do writers use different forms, that is to say different types of writing, to present human relationships? Once again, the texts studied are put into a chronological sequence to give a sense of literary history and a deeper understanding of that literary tradition. Although the core units are driven by literature, there's a clear focus on the teaching of literacy skills, that is to say, of reading and writing. These core or key skills are outlined in this knowledge organiser, which is also displayed in classrooms and in the front of pupil books. It lays down the progression between each year and is one of the things we'd really recommend that parents and carers use as a reference point too. On the left side of it in green can be seen the skills that we would expect to be secure or becoming secure at this point. These are taken from the Key Stage 2 curriculum and indicate some of the differences between the Key Stage 2 and Key Stage 3. Along the bottom is a very interesting section about expression in written language, something which we'll refer to later on, but which is at the absolute core of what makes progress and what makes excellence in English. Alongside each thematic unit, time is also given to library lessons, composition lessons, and to shared reading. Library lessons are scheduled once per fortnight in our wonderful library. They include structured activities which aim to foster an interest in reading and of course give the opportunity to enjoy reading independently. Composition lessons are delivered discreetly to develop aspects of writing, in particular the deeper skills of drafting, refining and editing. The work completed in these lessons is kept in a separate book which follows students through years 7 and 8, becoming a kind of portfolio of their best extended writing. Our shared reading lessons aim to model good reading practice and create a simple, enjoyable, engaging, shared reading experience. Classes take a book and they read it over a relatively short period of time. The reasoning behind this is twofold. On the one hand, there is compelling evidence that reading in this way has a very positive impact on attainment. More obviously, it also ensures that reading is something that's enjoyable, it's shared, and this helps to maintain and build that love of reading, which again is absolutely essential, and it's something that we want our students to have. So a huge amount of information has just been presented there, and the question now is, how can you help? For many parents, carers and young people across the country, the transition between primary and secondary school can feel like a real jump. From our perspective, there are a few fairly simple things which you can do that make a huge difference. Firstly, anything that you can do to encourage reading for pleasure is absolutely essential. Writing is so often overlooked. The Key Skills Knowledge Organiser is incredibly useful as a simple reminder of expected standards and skills, and it's also a great reminder of what makes even better writing. If there is any master skill which is a key to general academic success, it is that ability to use a broad vocabulary and sequences of complex and accurate sentences. Underlying all of this is a very simple principle, which is, of course, communication. Hopefully some of the information in this presentation should help you to open up those conversations, and we would encourage you to take that opportunity to look not just into books, but look at and discuss what's in their anthologies and be impressed by what's in there. That brings this presentation to an end. Hopefully the information that we've given you here will give you a better understanding of our subject. If you have any general questions that you'd like to ask, a Google form will be sent out after this presentation goes live. If you have any specific questions or concerns relating to the academic progress of your child, we would ask you in the first instance to contact their English teacher, and that this can be done through the school's main email address, and it will be forwarded from there. Thank you very much for listening.